Have you ever watched someone living the life you want, fit, successful, passionate, and wondered, what's their secret? How do they find the time? The truth is, they don't have more hours in the day than you do. They've simply discovered something profound. That one single hour, the same hour that most of us spend scrolling, worrying, or watching shows we don't even enjoy, can become the most powerful force for change in your life. I'm not talking about working harder. I'm not talking about sacrificing sleep or family time. I'm talking about one intentional hour that becomes your daily sanctuary for growth. In this audio experience, you'll discover why 60 minutes a day creates more lasting change than weekend marathons, how to find your golden hour without adding stress to your life, the science behind small, consistent actions that compound into extraordinary results, real stories of people who transformed their health, wealth, and happiness using this method. This isn't just theory, this is a practical path to becoming the person you know you're meant to be. If you're ready to take back control of your time and your growth, you're in the right place. And if this message resonates with you, please support Audio Vibes by liking this video, subscribing for more life-changing content, and sharing this with someone who needs to hear it. Together, we can help more people discover their potential. Now, let's begin your transformation.
Chapter 1: The Small Secret Behind Big Changes. Let me ask you something that might feel uncomfortable. Think back to the last time you set a goal for yourself. Maybe it was New Year's, that fresh start feeling. Or perhaps it was after a difficult moment, a health scare, a career disappointment, seeing an old photo that reminded you of who you used to be. You made a decision. This time will be different. Maybe you signed up for that gym membership, bought the running shoes, downloaded the language app, ordered the business books, or cleared out a space to create. For the first few days, maybe even weeks, you felt that fire. You tracked your progress. You shared your excitement with friends. You could almost taste the future version of yourself, the one who follows through. But then, life happened. A busy week at work drained your energy. A family obligation took priority. You caught a cold. Or maybe the motivation just faded. That initial excitement was replaced by the hard daily work of showing up. And slowly, almost without noticing, you stopped. The running shoes gathered dust in the closet. The language app sent you notifications you ignored. The books sat on your shelf unread. And that voice in your head, the one that doubts you, whispered, "See, I knew you couldn't do it. You never follow through." If this has ever happened to you, I want you to hear me clearly and hear me well. It's not your fault. The problem wasn't your ambition. It wasn't your willpower. It wasn't even your busy schedule. The problem was your method.
Let me tell you about Sarah. Sarah worked as an administrative assistant in a busy office. Her days were filled with other people's priorities, managing calendars, answering phones, organizing files. By the time she got home each evening, she was mentally exhausted. But Sarah had a dream, a quiet one she didn't share with many people. She wanted to start her own online boutique selling handmade candles. She'd been making candles as a hobby for years, and people always told her they were wonderful. Every few months, Sarah would get a burst of inspiration. She'd spend an entire Saturday trying to build her website, create product descriptions, take photos, and plan her social media. She'd work for 8-9 hours straight. But these marathon sessions were exhausting. Some Saturdays, emergencies came up. Other times, she was just too tired from the work week. The gaps between these intense efforts grew longer. Weeks turned into months. Months turned into years. 2 years after buying her domain name, Sarah still hadn't launched. Her dream felt further away than ever. She started to believe she just wasn't the entrepreneurial type. Then something shifted. Her sister gave her a book about atomic habits. Curious, Sarah started reading a few pages each night. One concept jumped out at her: the power of small, consistent actions. So she decided to experiment. Instead of waiting for free weekends that rarely came, she committed to working on her business for just 30 minutes each weekday morning. She set her alarm for 6 a.m. instead of 6:30. The first morning, she just researched candle suppliers. That's it. 30 minutes, then she got ready for work. The next day, she compared pricing for shipping materials. The day after that, she wrote one product description. Some days she felt tired and unmotivated. On those days, she just organized her workspace or update her to-do list. The goal wasn't massive progress. The goal was consistency. Something remarkable began to happen. After 2 weeks, the early wake-ups became easier. After a month, she noticed her candle business was always on her mind during the day. She'd have ideas while commuting or during lunch breaks. After 3 months, she had all her suppliers lined up, 20 products ready, and a simple website built. After 6 months, she made her first sale to someone she didn't know. Today, Sarah's candle business generates enough extra income that she was able to reduce her office hours to part-time. She's planning to go full-time with her business next year. But here's what's most fascinating. When people ask Sarah her secret, she hesitates to tell them it was just 30 minutes a day. It feels too simple, too small. Surely, they think, real success requires bigger sacrifices. But Sarah discovered the truth. Small, consistent actions don't just add up, they compound.
Let's pause here for a moment and consider why Sarah's story worked when her previous attempts failed. It comes down to 3 fundamental truths about how human beings actually change. First, our brains resist dramatic change. When you try to make a huge shift, like going from no exercise to 2-hour workouts, your brain interprets this as threat. It's unfamiliar. It's uncomfortable. It triggers what psychologists call reactance, our natural resistance to being forced to change. But small changes, they slip under the radar. 30 minutes doesn't trigger that resistance. It feels manageable, safe. Second, willpower is a limited resource. Think of your willpower like a phone battery. It drains throughout the day as you make decisions, resist temptations, and manage stress. By the time evening comes, after a long day of work and responsibilities, your willpower battery is often in the red zone. That's why those after-work gym plans often fail. You're trying to draw from an empty account. Sarah used her willpower when it was fully charged, first thing in the morning. Third, identity shifts happen gradually. When Sarah was trying to work in marathon sessions, she still identified as someone trying to start a business. There was a separation between her current self and her entrepreneurial self. But after months of working on her business daily, no matter how small the action, her identity gradually shifted. She became a business owner. She thought like one. She spoke like one. She made decisions like one. This identity shift is where lasting change actually happens.
Now let's talk about the math, because numbers don't lie. Sarah invested 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. That's 2.5 hours per week, 10 hours per month, 130 hours per year. 130 hours. That's the equivalent of more than 5 full 24-hour days spent entirely on building her business.
Meanwhile, in her previous approach, she might have put in 20-hour marathon sessions 4 times a year, totaling 80 hours with massive stress and recovery time between sessions. The consistent approach gave her 50% more time with less stress and built a sustainable identity in the process. This is the compound effect of small actions. Think about a snowball at the top of a hill. At first, it's small, easy to push. Each rotation adds just a tiny bit more snow. But as it continues rolling, it grows exponentially. By the time it reaches the bottom, it's massive, powerful, unstoppable. Your daily hour is that snowball at the top of the hill.
Now, I want to address the question I know is forming in your mind. But what can I really accomplish in just 1 hour? Let me give you some real examples. Read 20 pages a day, and you'll complete 24 to 30 books in a year. Practice a language for 60 minutes daily, and you'll reach conversational fluency in 6 to 8 months. Walk for an hour each day, and you'll cover over 1,800 miles in a year, the distance from New York to Miami and back. Write 500 words daily, and you'll have a 180,000-word manuscript in a year, longer than most novels. But here's what's even more important than these tangible outcomes. The person who reads for an hour daily becomes a reader. The person who practices a language becomes bilingual. The person who walks daily becomes someone who prioritizes their health. The person who writes consistently becomes a writer. Your identity transforms through your consistent actions. So, where do we go from here? I want you to think about one area of your life where you feel stuck. One dream you've put on hold. One skill you wish you had. One aspect of your health you've been neglecting. Now, I want you to imagine what would happen if you gave that area just 1 hour each day for the next year. Not dramatic overhauls, not perfect consistency, just showing up most days. What would become possible? In the next chapter, we're going to get practical. We're going to explore how to choose the right focus for your hour, because not all hours are created equal. Some activities will change your life faster than others. But before we move on, I want you to take a moment, just breathe, and consider this. The distance between who you are and who you want to be is measured not in giant leaps, but in small, consistent steps. Your journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single hour. Chapter 2: Your Hour, Your Power. Choosing what moves you forward. Imagine you've been given a key. This key can unlock any door you choose, but you can only use it once. Behind one door is better health. Behind another, a new career. Behind another, deeper relationships. Behind the last, more peace and clarity. Which door would you open? This is exactly the choice you face with your daily hour. You have this precious key, 60 minutes, and you get to decide which part of your life it will transform. But here's what most people get wrong. They try to open all the doors at once. They spend 20 minutes on exercise, 20 on learning, 20 on meditation. After weeks of effort, they feel frustrated because nothing seems to be changing significantly. The secret isn't working harder, it's working smarter. It's choosing one door and walking through it completely. Let me tell you about Maria. Maria felt like every part of her life needed improvement. She wanted to lose 20 pounds, learn digital marketing to advance her career, read more books, and find ways to reduce her constant anxiety. For months, she tried to do everything.
She'd exercise for 30 minutes, then try to study for 30 minutes, then meditate for 10 minutes, then read before bed. She was exhausted, and more importantly, she wasn't making real progress in any area. Then she had a realization. She was spreading her hour too thin. She decided to experiment. For the next 90 days, she would devote her entire daily hour to just one thing: strength training. The first week was challenging. The second week, she noticed her energy improving. By the fourth week, she was sleeping better. After 2 months, she'd lost 12 pounds without dieting, just from consistent exercise. But here's where it got interesting. Her commitment to exercise began spilling over into other areas of her life. Because she had more energy, she found it easier to focus during her marketing studies. Because she was sleeping better, her anxiety decreased. Because she felt proud of her discipline with exercise, she felt more confident in her ability to learn new skills. By focusing deeply on one area, she accidentally improved them all. This is the power of what I call the domino effect. When you choose the right focus for your hour, it becomes the domino that tips over all the other areas of your life. So how do you choose your domino? How do you know which area to focus on first? After working with thousands of people on this exact question, I've identified 4 fundamental areas that consistently create the most powerful ripple effects. I call them the 4 pillars of transformation.
Pillar 1, the body. This is about physical health and energy. When your body feels strong and vibrant, everything else becomes easier. Examples: walking, running, yoga, strength training, sports, dancing, or meal preparation. Why it creates ripples. Better health means more energy, better sleep, improved mood, and increased confidence. Pillar 2, the mind. This is about mental clarity, emotional balance, and inner peace. Examples: meditation, journaling, therapy exercises, reading philosophy or psychology, quiet reflection. Why it creates ripples. A calm mind makes better decisions, handles stress more effectively, and improves relationships. Pillar 3, the skills. This is about growing your capabilities and creating new opportunities. Examples: learning a language, coding, writing, public speaking, playing an instrument, developing professional expertise. Why it creates ripples. New skills create career opportunities, build confidence, and expand your sense of what's possible. Pillar 4, the heart. This is about connection, purpose, and contribution. Examples: writing letters to loved ones, volunteering, working on meaningful projects, deep conversations, community building. Why strong relationships provide support during challenges, and meaningful work gives life purpose. Now, you might be looking at these 4 pillars and thinking, I need to work on all of them. And you're right, eventually. But the most powerful approach is to choose one, just one, to focus on for the next 60 to 90 days. Here's how to choose. Ask yourself these 3 questions. First, what pain do I feel most strongly? If you constantly feel tired and sluggish, start with the body. If you feel anxious, overwhelmed, or scattered, start with the mind. If you feel stuck in your career or financially limited, start with the skills. If you feel lonely, disconnected, or lacking purpose, start with the heart. Second, What change would make other areas of my life easier? Better health often improves mental clarity. Mental clarity helps you learn new skills more effectively. New skills can create financial freedom that reduces stress. Strong relationships provide emotional support for all your goals. Third, what have you been putting off that you know would change everything? Be honest with yourself. There's probably one thing you've been avoiding because it feels big or scary. That's likely your most powerful starting point.
Let me share how this worked for Alex. Alex had been wanting to start a side business for years. He dabbled in different ideas but never made real progress. When he asked himself the 3 questions, he realized the pain he felt most strongly was financial stress. Starting a business would make every other area of his life easier by reducing money worries. He'd been putting this off because he was afraid of failure. He chose to focus on Pillar 3, skills. Specifically, he dedicated his daily hour to learning web development and building his first product. For the first 30 days, he felt like he was making minimal progress. But around day 45, something clicked. He launched his first website. By day 90, he had his first paying customer. The business didn't replace his income overnight, but it did something more important. It proved to him that change was possible. The confidence he gained from building his business spilled over into his health, his relationships, and his overall outlook on life. His one focused hour became the domino that tipped over everything else. Now, I want you to think about your own life. If you could only work on one thing for the next 90 days, what would give you the biggest return? What would create the most powerful domino effect?
Remember, this isn't a permanent choice. You're not saying, "I'll never work on the other areas." You're just saying, for the next 90 days, this one area gets my full attention. After 90 days, you can evaluate. Maybe you continue. Maybe you switch to another pillar. But you'll be moving forward with intention, rather than spreading yourself too thin. In the next chapter, we'll tackle one of the biggest challenges: how to find your hour in an already busy day. How to protect this time from all the demands and distractions that will inevitably try to claim it. But for now, I want you to sit with this question. Which of the 4 pillars needs your attention most right now? Which domino, when tipped over, will start a chain reaction of positive change throughout your life? Your answer is where your hour should begin. Chapter 3: Finding Your Golden Hour, Creating Space in a Crowded Life. I know exactly what you might be thinking right now. This sounds beautiful, but where am I supposed to find an entire extra hour? My life is already overflowing. You wake up to alarms, rush through mornings, navigate demanding jobs, manage households, care for others, and collapse into bed each night wondering where the day went. The idea of adding one more thing, even something as important as your own growth, can feel overwhelming, maybe even impossible. I understand completely, but I need to tell you something crucial. You don't find time for what matters, you create it. And creating time doesn't require dramatic life changes. It requires a shift in perspective. Let me tell you about Ben. Ben was a father of 2 young children, working as a project manager in a high-pressure tech company. His days began at 6 a.m. when his youngest climbed into bed and ended around 11 p.m. after he finished cleaning the kitchen and preparing for the next day. When he first heard about the 1-hour concept, his reaction was visceral, impossible.
But then his wife challenged him to track his time for 1 week, not to change anything, just to observe. What Ben discovered shocked him. He found 25 minutes each morning scrolling through news apps while drinking coffee, 40 minutes daily browsing social media during his commute as a passenger, 30 minutes most evenings watching YouTube videos he didn't even enjoy, 20 minutes each night lying in bed unable to sleep, his mind racing. That's nearly 2 hours every day, time that was disappearing without meaning or satisfaction. Ben didn't need to find more time. He needed to reclaim the time he was already wasting. He started with the easiest target, his morning scroll. Instead of reaching for his phone, he began reading 1 chapter of a personal development book, just 25 minutes. The first week felt strange. By the second week, he noticed he started his workday feeling more focused and intentional. After 1 month, he'd completed 3 books that fundamentally shifted how he approached his work and relationships.
The time was always there. He just needed to use it with purpose. Let me show you where most people discover their golden hour. The morning sanctuary, 5 to 7 a.m. This is the most powerful time for many people. The world is quiet, no emails have arrived, no one needs anything from you yet. James uses this hour to write fiction. He's now halfway through his first novel. Maria uses it for yoga and planning her day. She says it makes her twice as productive. Tom uses it to learn Portuguese for his upcoming sabbatical. The lunch break revolution. Instead of scrolling through your phone while eating, this can become your growth window. David walks on a nearby trail while listening to educational podcasts. Lisa practices coding in a quiet corner of her office building. The evening transition, 8 to 10 p.m. The hours after dinner but before bed often disappear into passive entertainment. Rachel practices guitar after her children are asleep. Alex works on his woodworking projects in his garage workshop. The hidden pockets. These are the brief spaces between activities that most people waste. Your commute, audiobooks or language learning, waiting periods, reading or planning on your phone. The 30 minutes before bed, journaling or reflection. But knowing where to find potential time is only half the battle. The other half is protecting it. Here are the 4 most effective ways to guard your golden hour. 1. Treat it like the most important meeting of your day. Because it is. This is your meeting with your future self. Put it in your calendar. Set reminders. Give it the same respect you'd give a meeting with your CEO. 2. Prepare the night before. Eliminate friction. Lay out your workout clothes. Charge your laptop. Set your books on the table. Prep your materials. When the time comes, you want to be able to start immediately. 3. Create physical and digital boundaries. During your hour, put your phone in another room. Turn off internet if you don't need it. Close your door if possible. Use a do not disturb sign if needed. 4. Start small if necessary. If 60 minutes feels impossible, start with 15. The habit is more important than the duration at the beginning. You can always expand later. Let me share one more story about Chloe. Chloe was a nurse working 12-hour night shifts. Her schedule was erratic, her sleep patterns were disrupted, and she felt she had no control over her time. She believed the 1-hour practice was only for people with normal schedules. But then she noticed something. She always arrived 30 minutes early for her shifts. Instead of sitting in the break room scrolling through her phone, she started bringing a sketchbook. Those 30 minutes of drawing each day added up to over 180 hours of artistic practice in a year. She went from casual doodler to creating pieces good enough to sell at local art fairs. The time was always there. She just needed to see it differently. Now, I want you to think about your own life. Where are you spending time on things that don't align with who you want to become? Maybe it's the 40 minutes you spend watching television shows you don't even enjoy, the 30 minutes you lose to social media scrolling, the 20 minutes you spend making decisions you could automate, the countless moments throughout the day when you're physically present but mentally disengaged. This isn't about eliminating all relaxation or leisure. It's about being intentional. It's about choosing how you spend your attention rather than letting it be stolen. Maybe you choose to watch one less episode each night. Maybe you check social media once a day instead of 15 times. Maybe you wake up 30 minutes earlier. Maybe you use your commute differently. The truth is, you have the same 24 hours as everyone else who's transforming their life. The difference isn't in the quantity of time, it's in how you use it. In the next chapter, we'll confront the inevitable challenge: what to do when motivation disappears. How to keep showing up for your hour even when you're tired, discouraged, or busy. But for today, your task is simple. Look at your schedule for tomorrow. Find one 30-minute block you can reclaim. Just 30 minutes. Schedule it. Protect it. Use it for one thing that moves you forward. That 30 minutes is the seed of your transformation. Plant it well.
Chapter 4. When Motivation Fades, the Art of Showing Up Anyway. There will come a morning, perhaps tomorrow, perhaps next week, when your alarm rings and every cell in your body resists. You'll lie there in the warm darkness, listening to the rain outside or feeling the weight of yesterday's exhaustion, and you'll think, just today. I'll skip just today. I deserve a break. Or you'll finish a long workday, drained and depleted, and the thought of spending your hour learning or creating will feel like trying to climb a mountain after running a marathon. This is the moment where most people fail. This is where dreams go to die quietly in the dark. But not you. Not this time. Because in this chapter, you're going to learn what separates those who transform their lives from those who just dream about transformation. You're going to learn how to keep your commitment to yourself when every external force and every internal voice is telling you to quit. Let me tell you about David. David had committed to spending his morning hour learning web development. He wanted to transition from his customer service job into tech, and he knew this was his path out. The first 2 weeks felt magical. He woke up excited, made coffee while his computer booted up, and dove into coding tutorials. He could see his progress daily. He felt like he was finally moving towards something meaningful. Then week 3 arrived. One Tuesday morning, his alarm sounded at 5:30 a.m. after he'd only gotten 4 hours of sleep. His daughter had been sick through the night, and he was exhausted. As he lay in bed, his mind presented compelling arguments. You need rest more than you need coding. One day won't matter. You can do twice as much tomorrow. For several minutes, he wrestled with these thoughts. The warm bed felt like sanctuary. The cold office where he studied felt like punishment. But then he remembered something his mentor had told him. Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you going. He dragged himself out of bed. He stumbled to the kitchen. He told himself, just sit at the desk. If after 5 minutes you still want to go back to bed, you can. He sat. He opened his laptop. He started reviewing what he'd learned the previous day. 5 minutes passed, then 10, then 30. By the end of the hour, he'd solved a complex problem that had frustrated him for days. He felt energized, proud, awake.
That morning, David learned the most important lesson about lasting change. Motivation is the beautiful spark that ignites the fire, but discipline is the wood that keeps it burning.
Let's explore why this happens and how you can harness this understanding. The neuroscience of resistance. When you consider skipping your hour, you're not being lazy. You're experiencing a biological reality. Your brain is designed to conserve energy. Any new activity, even one you value, registers as energy expenditure. Your basal ganglia, the part of your brain responsible for habit patterns, prefers familiar routines because they require less cognitive effort. When you push through resistance, you're essentially telling your brain, this is important enough to spend energy on. Over time, your brain adapts and begins to categorize this activity as worth the energy. The 2-minute rule in depth. When resistance feels overwhelming, shrink your commitment. Don't think about the full hour. Think about the first 2 minutes. If your hour is for exercise, don't think, I need to complete a full workout. Think, I just need to put on my workout clothes and shoes. If your hour is for writing, don't think, I need to write 1,000 words. Think, I just need to open my document and write 1 sentence. If your hour is for learning, don't think, I need to master this chapter. Think, I just need to review my notes from yesterday. This works because you're bypassing your brain's resistance to large tasks. 2 minutes feels manageable. It feels easy. And once you've started, you'll often find the resistance has melted away, replaced by momentum.
Environmental design, making good choices automatic. Your willpower is like a muscle. It fatigues with use. Don't rely on it. Instead, design your environment so the right choices happen automatically. If you want to read at night, place your book on your pillow each morning. If you want to exercise first thing, sleep in your workout clothes. If you want to avoid social media during your hour, delete the apps from your phone during that time. If you want to practice guitar, keep it on a stand in your living room, not hidden in a closet. If you want to eat healthier, prep your meals on Sunday so the healthy choice is the easy choice. Your environment should make good habits inevitable and bad habits difficult. The power of visible tracking. Human beings are motivated by progress. When we can see our advancement, we're more likely to continue. Mark an X on a calendar for every day you complete your hour. Use a habit tracking app that shows your current streak. Keep a journal where you write 1 sentence about what you accomplished. Create a visual representation of your progress, a thermometer you color in, a chain of paper links, anything you can see growing. Why does this work so powerfully? Because missing a day breaks the chain. That visual representation of your consistency becomes motivation in itself. You'll find yourself thinking, I don't want to break my 45-day streak.
The minimum viable practice. Some days, you genuinely won't have the capacity for your full hour. You might be sick, exhausted, or dealing with a crisis. On these days, the goal isn't excellence, it's maintenance. Have a minimum viable version of your practice. Instead of your full workout, do 10 minutes of stretching. Instead of writing 1,000 words, write 1 paragraph. Instead of studying a full chapter, review your notes for 15 minutes. Instead of your complete meditation practice, do 3 minutes of breathing. The goal on these days is to maintain the ritual, to keep the identity alive. I am someone who does this every day, even if some days I can only do a little. Connecting to your deeper why. On the difficult days, you need to remember why you started. The surface-level goals, losing weight, learning a skill, often aren't enough to pull you through resistance. Connect to the deeper meaning. If your hour is for exercise, don't think about weight loss. Think about the energy to play with your grandchildren someday. If your hour is for learning, don't think about career advancement. Think about the freedom that financial security would bring your family. If your hour is for creativity, don't think about finished products. Think about the joy of expressing something that only you can express. Write your deep why on a note card. Keep it where you'll see it during your hour. Let it anchor you when motivation drifts away.
The ritual of beginning. Create a consistent starting ritual that signals to your brain it's time to focus. Light a specific candle. Brew a particular tea or coffee. Play the same focus music. Do 3 deep breaths before beginning. Recite a brief affirmation or intention. These small rituals create automaticity. They tell your brain what's coming next, making the transition into your focused hour smoother and requiring less willpower. The compassionate restart. You will miss a day. It will happen. When it does, the most important thing isn't the missed day, it's how you respond to it. Most people fall into what psychologists call the "what the hell" effect. They miss one day, feel guilty, then use that as justification to miss more days. Well, I've already broken my streak, so what does it matter? Instead, practice the compassionate restart. Acknowledge the miss without judgment. Understand what caused it without making excuses. Then recommit to the next day. Remember that one missed day is a deviation. 2 missed days is the start of a new pattern. Let me share one final story about Maya. Maya had maintained her daily writing practice for 5 months. Then she went on vacation and missed 3 days. When she returned home, she found it incredibly difficult to restart. The momentum was broken. The resistance felt stronger than it had at the beginning. For 2 days, she intended to write, but found reasons not to. On the 3rd day, she applied the 2-minute rule. She told herself, just open the document. That's all you have to do. She opened the document. She read what she'd written before her vacation. She made one small edit, then another. Before she knew it, 40 minutes had passed. The next day, it was easier. Within a week, she was back in her rhythm. The path to consistency isn't a straight line. It has dips, curves, and occasional backtracking. What matters isn't that you never stumble, it's that you always get back up. In our final chapter, we'll explore how this daily practice begins to transform not just the area you're focusing on, but every aspect of your life. How your 1 hour becomes the catalyst for a completely different existence. But for today, remember this. Motivation is a fair weather friend. It's beautiful when it's here, but you can't depend on it. Discipline is your faithful companion. It walks with you through the dark, through the tired, through the doubt. And discipline is simply this: choosing what you want most over what you want now. When tomorrow comes and you don't feel like doing your hour, don't think about the hour. Think about the first 2 minutes. Take that small step. The journey of transformation isn't built in grand gestures. It's built in small, consistent choices, especially the choices you make when you don't feel like making them. Start there.
Chapter 5: The Ripple Effect. How 1 hour redesigns your entire life. If you've stayed with me through these chapters, you now hold all the pieces. You understand why 1 hour matters more than occasional heroic efforts. You know how to choose your focus. You've discovered where to find this time in your crowded life, and you've learned how to show up even when every part of you wants to quit. But what we haven't fully explored is the most beautiful, almost magical dimension of this practice. It's what happens when your daily hour stops being something you do and starts being someone you are. It's how this single, focused practice doesn't just change one area of your life, it transforms everything. This is what I call the ripple effect. Imagine standing at the edge of a still pond on a misty morning. You pick up a single pebble and toss it into the water. The point of impact is small, barely noticeable, but then something beautiful happens. Ripples begin to spread outward, moving far beyond where the pebble landed, touching every corner of the pond's surface, changing the entire ecosystem in subtle but profound ways. Your 1 hour is that pebble. Your life is the pond. Let me show you how this works through the complete story of Elena. Elena was a middle school teacher in her late 30s who felt like she was slowly disappearing. Her days consisted of managing classrooms of energetic students, grading endless papers, attending staff meetings, and trying to maintain some semblance of order in both her professional and personal life. She loved her students, but felt buried by bureaucracy. She cared about education, but felt crushed by standardized testing requirements. She wanted to be present for her family, but came home each day emotionally drained. Her health was suffering. She'd gained 20 pounds over 5 years, relied on caffeine to get through afternoons, and sugar to get through evenings. Her marriage felt distant. Conversations had become logistical rather than connecting. Her own interests and passions had been shelved so long she could barely remember what they were. Then she discovered the 1 hour principle during a particularly low moment. She'd found herself crying in her car after school, overwhelmed by the gap between the teacher she wanted to be and the teacher she'd become. She decided to start with something simple, almost trivial, a 30-minute walk each morning before school, followed by 30 minutes of reading. Not professional development reading, not educational theory, just reading for pleasure, something she hadn't done since college. The first week was awkward. She felt self-conscious walking through her neighborhood in the early morning darkness. The reading felt indulgent, almost wasteful, when there were papers to grade and lessons to plan. But she persisted. Within 2 weeks, something subtle shifted. The morning walks began to clear the mental fog she'd accepted as normal. The reading, initially an escape, became a source of inspiration and perspective. Then the ripples began. The first ripple appeared in her classroom. Because she started her day centered and calm, she found herself more patient with her most challenging students. She listened more carefully. She responded more thoughtfully. Classroom management, which had consumed so much of her energy, became noticeably easier. The second ripple touched her health. With more energy from her walks and better sleep from reduced stress, she naturally started making healthier food choices. She didn't diet, she just found herself wanting different foods. The afternoon sugar crashes that had plagued her for years disappeared. Within 6 months, she'd lost 15 pounds without ever counting a calorie. The third ripple reached her marriage. Her husband noticed the change in her energy and mood. He started joining her on weekend walks. These walks became their new conversation space, where they talked about dreams, fears, and ideas rather than schedules and chores. The connection they'd been missing slowly returned. The fourth ripple transformed her teaching. Inspired by a novel she read about resilience, she started a gratitude journal practice with her students. The classroom culture shifted from complaint to appreciation. Parents began sending thank you notes. Colleagues asked about her methods.
The fifth ripple touched her professional confidence. With renewed energy and clarity, she proposed a new project-based learning initiative to her principal. It was approved. She found herself leading professional development sessions, something the old Elena would never have considered. The sixth ripple reached her sense of self. She remembered she wasn't just a teacher, a wife, a mother. She was a learner, a thinker, a creative being. She started writing poetry again, just for herself, just because it brought her joy. All this from 30 minutes of walking and 30 minutes of reading. Elena's story illustrates the three fundamental ways your daily hour creates ripples across your entire existence. The behavioral ripple. Actions create patterns. When you consistently show up for 1 hour, you're not just accomplishing a task, you're establishing a pattern of honoring your commitments to yourself. This pattern begins to influence countless other choices throughout your day. The person who exercises consistently starts choosing healthier foods without conscious effort. The person who reads regularly finds themselves reaching for books instead of phones during spare moments. The person who practices creativity begins seeing problems as opportunities for innovation. Your focused hour becomes a template for how you approach your entire life. The identity ripple. Actions shape self-concept. When you spend your hour intentionally, you gradually stop being someone who wants to change and become someone who is changing. The person who writes daily stops saying, "I'm trying to write," and starts saying, "I'm a writer." The person who exercises regularly stops saying, "I'm trying to get fit," and starts saying, "I'm someone who takes care of my body." The person who learns consistently stops saying, "I wish I knew," and starts saying, "I'm capable of learning what I need to know." This shift in identity then influences behavior in ways that feel automatic rather than forced. You're not exercising because you should, you're exercising because that's what people like you do. The holistic ripple. Growth in one area fuels growth in others. Growth isn't compartmentalized. The confidence you build in one domain transfers to others. The discipline you develop through consistent exercise helps you manage your finances better. The patience you cultivate through learning a difficult skill makes you a better parent or partner. The creativity you unlock through artistic practice helps you solve work problems more innovatively. Your growth becomes cross-pollinating, each area feeding and strengthening the others. Now, let me share two more detailed examples of the ripple effect in action.
Michael's transformation from code to core confidence. Michael worked in retail management, a job he'd fallen into after college and never escaped. He felt stuck, underpaid, and uninspired. His dream was to work in tech, but without a computer science degree, it felt impossible. He started spending 1 hour each evening after work learning web development through online courses. The first month was frustrating. The concepts felt foreign, the syntax confused him. Some nights, he understood nothing, but he persisted. After 3 months, something clicked. He built his first simple website. Then he built another. After 6 months, he created a website for his friend's small business. His friend paid him $500. That first payment was about more than money. It was validation. Proof that he could create value with skills he'd built himself. The ripples began spreading. The financial ripple. The side income, though small initially, reduced his money stress and gave him options. The career ripple. He updated his LinkedIn profile to include web development. A recruiter reached out. After a rigorous interview process, he landed an entry-level developer position with a 40% salary increase. The confidence ripple. The knowledge that he'd completely changed his career trajectory through his own efforts made him believe he could accomplish anything he set his mind to. The health ripple. With less financial stress and more satisfying work, his chronic anxiety decreased. He slept better. He started exercising. The relationship ripple. His newfound confidence and presence made him a better partner. His relationship, which had been struggling under the weight of his career dissatisfaction, began to thrive. All from 1 hour each day.
Sophia's awakening, from meditation to meaning. Sophia was successful by external measures. Good job, nice apartment, active social life. But internally, she felt hollow. She described it as living someone else's life. On a friend's recommendation, she started with just 10 minutes of daily meditation. She expected peace, clarity, maybe less stress. What she got was uncomfortable awareness. In the silence, she began to notice things. How much she people-pleased, how often she said yes when she meant no, and how many of her choices were made to impress others rather than express herself. The first few weeks were difficult. She almost quit multiple times, but she persisted. Then the ripples began. The emotional ripple. She started noticing when she felt resentful or drained and began exploring why. The boundary ripple. She started saying no to commitments that didn't align with her values. This included ending a toxic friendship that had drained her for years. The creative ripple. She remembered how much she'd loved painting as a child and bought herself watercolors. At first, it felt silly. Then, it felt like coming home. The career ripple. She realized her marketing job, while prestigious, didn't align with her values. She transitioned to a non-profit role with a 20% pay cut, but 100% more meaning. The spiritual ripple. She began exploring what truly mattered to her, separate from what society told her should matter. Her 10 minutes of daily silence didn't just make her calmer, it helped her rediscover who she was beneath the layers of expectation and obligation.
These stories illustrate the profound truth. Your daily hour is never just about that hour. It's about who you become during that hour and how that person shows up in the rest of your life. The ripples work in multiple dimensions. Internal ripples. Improved focus, better decisions, better outcomes. Increased self-discipline, increased self-respect, increased happiness. Reduced stress, improved health, improved relationships. External ripples. Enhanced skills, better performance, new opportunities. Better mood, improved relationships, stronger support system. Increased energy, more productivity, more free time. Temporal ripples. Daily consistency, weekly progress, monthly transformation,
yearly reinvention. But there's one crucial understanding you must embrace. The ripples take time to become visible. You might practice for weeks and see no external changes. You might wonder if it's working. This is why trust is essential. Trust the process. Trust that the pebble has been dropped, even if you can't yet see the ripples reaching the shore. The most important transformations happen beneath the surface long before they become visible to the world or even to yourself. Think of yourself as an iceberg. What people see, your behaviors, your accomplishments, is the small visible portion. But beneath the surface, your daily hour is reshaping your identity, your beliefs, your capabilities, your neural pathways. These submerged changes will eventually manifest as visible transformation, but only after they've reached critical mass. This is why so many people give up just before the breakthrough. They mistake the invisible progress for no progress. Your daily hour is the steady, consistent force that builds this invisible foundation. It's the underground root system that eventually produces visible fruit. As we approach the conclusion of our journey together, I want to leave you with this final understanding. You don't need to change your whole life today. You don't need to become a different person overnight. In fact, trying to do so is usually counterproductive. You just need to show up for 1 hour. 1 hour to move your body toward health. 1 hour to learn something that expands your possibilities. 1 hour to quiet your mind and remember who you are. 1 hour to connect with what gives your life meaning. That single hour, repeated day after day after day, will do the heavy lifting of transformation for you. It will rebuild your identity from the inside out. It will strengthen your confidence through demonstrated capability. It will expand your possibilities through accumulated skill. It will deepen your relationships through increased presence. It will clarify your purpose through consistent reflection.
The ripples will spread further than you can possibly imagine, touching parts of your life you never expected to change, solving problems you didn't know this practice would address, opening doors you didn't know existed. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, remember, you hold the pebble in your hand. The pond of your life stretches out before you, vast and full of possibility. What ripple will you start today? What small, consistent action will you take that will, in time, redesign your entire existence? The beautiful truth is, you already have everything you need to begin. You have the hour. You have the method. You have the understanding. Now, you just need to begin. And then, begin again tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that, until one day you look up and realize the person you've become is the person you always wanted to be. And it all started with 1 hour.